Darlings, it's Mummy, Sybil Brunchen. I'm out in Cherry Grove on Fire Island, and you've just seen the Verizon vans go by. They're putting up new wiring or something, and then Fios is coming out, and they're going to try and do what they do, and people won't be dependent on their sad little satellite dishes on their rooftops anymore when the storms come through. And we're being warned about tornadoes, but we lose the reception on the television because the tornado has actually destroyed the reception. So there's no chance of being warned. It's the funniest thing. We really need cable out here. The sooner that these telephone lines and everything are gone, the better. But you can see how charming Fire Island is, how sweet. Look at the houses, and they have names. There's Swanee, and this one is called Signet, and that's by Jupiter. And this is, this lovely little walk, and people have planted their little gardens. But of course, there's Verizon, and it's like we have to get rid of these telephone lines eventually, because every time we have a storm, the tree branches like pull the lines down, and we have a blackout, and that's always so funny. Anyway, this is, our neighborhood. Look how sweet. It's charming and quirky and eccentric and lovely and wonderful. And of course, over here is Michael Fitzgerald's art installation, and he's doing all of his sidewalk paintings and his amazing things. And so he's always got his art going and his furniture and stuff. And so people are out for breakfast, and they're coming back from town, and there's Michael right there, and he's laying out his paintings, and he signs them and everything, and people are out jogging. It's a typical day in Cherry Grove, and people are heading for the ferry. They're trying to make the ferry in time. Look at Michael's wonderful paintings. Just wonderful. And he's got his exhibit today sign out, and there's his wonderful rocks and everything. It's like it's the eccentricity of this place is fabulous. What I wanted to show you, though, is that I haven't been here for any gardening. I was gone all of June, basically, and was not here for Memorial Day. But this is my garden this year. And for those of you that watch my Tour-ettes, you've seen my garden change from year to year. Gardening is sort of a metaphor, isn't it, for life? One thing that's interesting is you control what you can, and then you surrender what you have to. And that's what gardening is. You can plan and plan and plan and plan and work and work and work and work, and there still is the element of luck in it, and the element of the unexpected. Everyone should have a plaque in their garden saying, "Let go and let God," because it does pay to weed and do and fertilize and water and be careful and conscientious and meticulous, but then there's a point at which you have to surrender. And Mummy had to surrender this year because I wasn't here, so I decided to let nature plant half of the garden, and that's why you see all of this beautiful fleabane. And that's called fleabane. It was even prettier 2 days ago before the storm beat the crap out of it. We had big storms come, and so they beat the crap out of it. But mixed in with that is liatris, which are those gay feathers, and here they all are getting ready to bud. These are the purple ones, and there's a set of white ones there. And then these are pin cushions, and there's all sorts of things. Here's some yarrows, and those are bachelor buttons. And here's the scaevola. You all know that I love putting scaevola here and at the entryway back there. But it was a whole process of surrendering. My beautiful lavender tree has really suffered this year. It really took a beating. I wasn't here to prune it and take care of it, so I'm nurturing it back to life, I hope. This whole corner, which usually is coleus and New Guinea impatiens and geraniums, has just become like a big, vast wildflower, Van Gogh-esque fleabane corner. I did put one New Guinea impatiens there, and there it is. It's taken a beating. There's my heuchera, which is now 15 years old, and look at that. It's also called coral bells. Its sweet little flowers came out, so that's doing well. There's another New Guinea impatiens. This is bladder campion, or maiden's tears. There's my beautiful little Japanese painted fern, which came back. These all came back. There's more scaevola. Here's asters. Here's wild geranium and some blue-eyed blue-eyed grass, which is sprinkled in there. I repotted all my hens and chicks to make them look a little bit better. They're doing okay, but it's a mix. My balloon flowers. year after year after year. Balloon flowers, called that because they look like hot air balloons and then they explode open. Isn't that wonderful? My balloon flowers are back. The ageratum is struggling. I don't know what to say about that. But the bottom line is, and there's a Veronica right there, and here's some pink Veronicas. They came back, but I mean, these pots still need to be weeded or done something with, and of course, the real tragedy is my Montauk daisies took a terrible hit. Construction was done on our house, and the workmen stacked the pots on top of each other and left them for the whole winter into the spring, and the Montauk daisies really, really, really suffered. So I have pruned them back and hope that they will recover. There'll be no blossoms this year, but they might, leaf out and come back, and I hope they do. Woolly thyme is right there. That's actually thyme, the spice, but this is a woolly variety. It's very sweet. So anyway, what I did this year was to mix plants that I bought with plants that were here. And it kind of is pretty, if I do say so myself. Would I ever have fleabanes growing up on those those pots up there? Or that? No, I would not. I would not do that. I took out the weeds and the dead things from that basket and put in evolvulus, which is also called dwarf morning glory, and it doesn't even look like morning glories. They're little blue things. Let me see if I've got a couple of blossoms right there. Look, do you see? Usually that is covered and hanging over with them and with beautiful calabracua and everything, but not this year. So anyway, it's a work in progress. This is not done yet. I haven't put the deck chair back in the corner, but I've washed the table and I've hosed the deck and I've grooved out. I've done my groove thing where I take my dandelion weeder and clean out all the crevices, and that makes a big difference in a deck and the way it looks and drains and everything. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Oh, we're still doing all sorts of horizon work. Oh, these handymen with their soiled hands. Oh, I did this, Robert Conlon. Okay. Wow. So anyway, we're having car accidents here. So that's our house and that's our garden. And it is what it is. It is what it is. So it's cool. So I will talk to you all later, and remember to be present, be mindful, be grateful. And if trucks are going by, be careful. And remember that everything you see and smell and taste and hear and touch and hold in your hand and your heart, it's all only borrowed. It's all only borrowed, darlings. I'll talk to you later.